Hi, my name is László Sziács. I am the head of our consultancy team, the leader of our 6 consultants. I am also an Atlassian certified expert and one of our resource management specialists, which is my favorite topic. Let me give an overview about my presentation. As my first point, I would like to introduce our main areas, what are our daily challenges and how we categorize these. Then I will talk about our back office day role and about its importance in our team. I divided main areas into 2 groups. The first is that you see as my third point. I will introduce the element of this just briefly. My second group is called Deep Dive in Consulting. I will put more focus on this. Related to consulting, you will hear about our planning methods, apps that we use for this purpose. One of our key successes in our daily work is the consultant awareness and autonomy. And finally, let me share our plans for the future. I think you figured out our main areas from my previous slide, but let me show you these together. The first one is consulting, including pre-sales and implementation processes. The second one is support for consulting, and lastly, events and the trainings. Let me put these together in context. You can see the previously mentioned areas in a timeline as we wish to cooperate. The ideal customer journey consists of 3 main phases: pre-sales, implementation and support. A new or an existing customer presents us their business. We make sure understanding and we create a proposal for the solution, including our effort estimation. If they accept it, we start the implementation. After the implementation, we offer a consulting support service to them. Parallel this, we used to recommend to build their knowledge inside their team, take part in a training and visit our events to get familiar with Atlassian ecosystem. But there is no any fixed dates for these activities. It's absolutely flexible. Our key element for the quick response and reliability is our daily changing back office day role. Every consultant in our team has a fixed day in a week when they're responsible for the new inquiries. We have an email address which is addressed with many different topics, for example with customer requests. He is responsible for the mails during this back office day. The second responsibility is the consulting support, but I will expand it later what is the actual task here. The third one is to have the daily work of the licensing team, because their work is strongly connected to ours. They sell the licenses for the products that we implement. We have a Help Me Slack channel where we ask but many times answering questions from the whole MetaInf team in connection with Atlassian ecosystem. It's a responsibility also. Finally, it's very important to train ourselves, refresh our knowledge about the used apps and main products also to provide high quality of implementation. And now let's see the brief information about the support for consulting. Various forms of cooperation 5, 10, 20 hours per month or quarter. Most of the companies order this service after an implementation, but it's not necessarily true for all orders. We handle these requests in a Jira Service Management project. We have a customer portal where customers can raise requests and we handle it with a time to first response SLA. The back office day person handles the incoming requests, but it doesn't mean he has to be the assignee of the request. Most of the project has special implementations, which the correspondent consultants, at least 2, who are familiar with the context much better than the others, so if the request is not a general topic, but something that only specific consultants know, the back office day person assigns the request to them. Let's see the brief information about our trainings. We give trainings about Jira and Confluence also in different levels, user and administrator level. In the last quarter, we have started to link the training inquiries to CRM records, so as of this quarter, we can track if the customer took part in any of our trainings. This information can help at our training campaigns in the future. And now, let's see the brief information about our events. We try to support our customers not just with implementations, trainings and support, but with quality content about Atlassian ecosystem, with meetups and with a 3-day-long conference also. And now let's deep dive in pre-sales. I would like to give you a technological overview how we handle our pre-sales cases. New and existing inquiries can arrive from 3 different channels: emails, from our website, and through a phone call. The first two regularly arriving from our email channel and landing in our service management project. After filtering these out, we finally represent these in a special Jira project together with phone call inquiries. And now, let's see how we provide quality during the pre-sales phase. We provide quality with the followings. We use CRM in Insight so we can monitor not just the customer-related trainings and licensing that I mentioned before, but the related pre-sales projects also. We visualize the customer information and the customer contact also on the customer issue. We represent these mentioned issues as epics in our Jira projects because this way we can easily build a second-level hierarchy for the different kind of phases like giving a demo, preparing proposal, discussing contract, and so on. We create issues for the mentioned activities because this way we can easily measure the time that we spent on these and create reports about it. Weekly statuses helps to follow the timeline of an inquiry, so if we do it quickly with a multi-line text custom field, we store also a special color indicator to visualize the project health and the timestamp of the actual date. We manage these with an itself transition and with a small script. We have a manual which gives us guidelines to our daily jobs, not just for the back office day role, but for the pre-sales processes also. We continuously develop and review it, aligning with our real processes and decisions. We make updates almost every month. As I mentioned before, a back office day role section, it's very important for us to give a quick response for the inquiries, so we set up SLAs for ourselves to monitor our response time. There is always a consultant who is responsible for a new inquiry. Most of the cases the responsibility belongs to the actual back office day person. If his capacity is full with cases or it requires special knowledge about any apps, the back office day person responsible for the customer communication until we find the right project lead. To find the right project lead, sometimes it's quite difficult. The planning helps to find the right person and absolutely crucial in our team. I would like to show you 3 parts of ours. The resource allocation in Big Picture, the second one is planning in Temple Planner, and finally our billable plan, billable table. To get a bird-eye overview about our capacity, we use Big Picture app to visualize our project. We regularly check the expected date of completion in the purpose of this. We have the possibility to see the implementations and the inquiries at the same place, consultant by consultant, as you will see on my next slide. So my next slide, you can see print screen for our Big Picture Gantt diagram. On the upper side of the Gantt, you can see our ongoing or contracted implementations with orange icons, and below with purple ones are the new inquiries. If we give an estimation about the start, any of these, you can see a gray underline which indicates what I mentioned before. Maybe it's surprising, but we use one more tool for planning. At the beginning we used only Big Picture for planning weeks also, but we realized that we had to make a lot of administrative steps to make our plans accurate. We had to generate a lot of issues. Temple Planner gives the ability to create many plan items for one issue, which helps to create plans easily for our regular tasks. As you will see on the next slide, we create detailed plans for every week, and as a part of our weekly planning, consultants make a plan for next week, and together with their leaders, they go through approval process, which is the Temple Planner functionality. And finally, there is one more functionality, the planned versus actual report. It helps to compare our plans and the accurate actual numbers. You can see here an approval process of one of our consultants, as it happens card by card. As I mentioned before, we plan in Tempo day by day. It's very simple to get an overview about daily load. Every card represents a plan item. The third main element of our planning is the billable plan. After we're ready with the Tempo planning, we create a billable plan based on the previous plan. We count those hours of the plan which will be built for the customers. During a weekly plan, we also measure the success of the previous week plans. It helps to develop our planning and keep the spend time between borders and reach our goals. We use comments on sales to give explanation about the plan and the result. And now let's see the deep dive in implementation. Unfortunately, we cannot dive you as deep as we did at our pre-sales process, but I would like to highlight some of the important key elements of implementation. We work with customer on a time and material basis. So if the final billable numbers are higher than our estimation, we will notify the customer as soon as we realize it. If we work less than the estimation, the customer will pay less. After we closed an implementation, we used to ask our customers to help us to improve the quality of our services. After a few weeks, we do a follow-up call to make sure everything is okay and happened as the customer wished. The well-configured tools and methods helps, but without consultant awareness and autonomy, we wouldn't reach that level of our services as it is now. Billable measurement based on our aggregated team's capacity as opposed to individual consultants' capacity. This is because each consultant works on a different portfolio in nature, which results in different billable levels, so we can maintain a standard level of billable hours more consistently on team level. The billable hour ratio is one of our key metrics on profitability, but we are working on more sophisticated metrics which help us to reach our goals better. Our consultants meet many unique cases, so it is very important to have written manuals which support them to make decisions about optimal solutions of the best escalation routes if necessary. And finally, let me show our plans for the future. We created the current Jira structure 2 years ago, but our needs changed, so we had to reconsider our work in Jira. Proposals are many times the first meeting point with us, so we think it's worth the effort to make it more attractive. As the customer meets our proposal, we send more materials to them, for example at the closing, which are based on templates. We think automatically generated documents would help our effectiveness. I talked about the back office day role before. We have some plans to facelift this too. Recently, we realized the fact that back office day responsibilities do not end on that specific day of the week. So those tasks causes many interruptions on the other days. Therefore, we are thinking about changing this role and find a better solution to address those tasks for the long term. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, please let me know.